Alright class, up until this point we have been solving equations, but it's only been one equation at a time. Today I'm going to show you how to combine two equations into that one equation by using the elimination method, and then from there you're going to be using the same steps that we've been using to solve the equations. And if you'll remember, when we're solving equations, we always start with subtraction, and the inverse of subtraction is addition. Then we go division, and the inverse would be multiplication, and then you have exponents in parentheses, okay? So just keep that in mind. I'm going to work the first problem for you, and the second problem we're going to work together. So the first thing we want to look at when we're going through two equations, when you see them, the first thing you need to look for are the variables aligned. When I say aligned, I mean are they in a row? So you're going to look for your x and your y, and you're going to look to make sure they're in a row, one on top of the other. So that's going to be our first step. And if you want to, you can just kind of write to the side of a piece of paper, my first step is going to be an A, okay? We're going to have an acronym for this so it'll be easier to remember. First thing I want to know, are my x's in a line? Are they aligned right now? They are. Alright, let's move on to y. Is y aligned? It is. Now we can go to step 2. We need to look in front of our variables to see if we have the same coefficient. And the coefficient is just going to be the number in front of the variable, correct? So let's start with x. Do we have the same coefficient in front of x? No, we don't. What is this right here in front of x? It's an understood 1. Good job. And then we have a 5 in front of x. So we're just going to leave x alone. We're going to move on to y. Now when I look at y, what do I have in front of y? I have a 2. Do I have that for both sets of equations? Is there a 2 in front of the y? There is. So that's step 2. We're looking at our coefficients, okay? We have the same coefficients, so now we can move on to step 3. Step 3, we need to see if we have opposite signs. You want opposite signs for the same reason when we're solving equations that we're doing our inverse. You want to be able to get a 0, right? We're eliminating one variable so that we can solve for one variable at a time. Alright, so we're going to look at y because this is the one that had the same coefficient. So we're going to start with y. You don't even worry about x at this point. Right here, I need to see if I have opposite signs. So your third letter is going to be S. A-C-S. That's your 3 steps at this point, okay? Do I have opposite signs in front of the 2? I do. In my 2 equations, I do. The first one I have a negative. The second one I have a positive. So once I have those 3 things, my next step is to add. You will always add your 2 equations, okay? So you don't ever have to worry about doing anything else to them. You will always add. I'm going to draw my equal sign, the big one, and I'm going to put me a plus sign right here just so that I remember what I'm doing, okay? Let's look at the negative 2 and the positive 2. This is the one we're going to eliminate because it has opposite signs. Negative 2y plus 2y is 0, and that's what you're wanting to get. So we'll go ahead and take that out. And now we're just going to add the 2 equations together. 1x plus 5x is 6x, right? Bring my equal sign down. Add negative 19 and positive 1, and we should get negative 18. Now here, once you get to this point, you will always divide. What operations happen in here?
Multiplication.
Multiplication, that's right. So our inverse is division, so you will always divide. We're going to divide by 6. 6 divided by 6 will reduce to 1, and we don't have to write the 1, so we'll just bring down x equals, and then negative 18 divided by 6 is negative 3. Alright, up until this point we have one variable, but we have to solve for both of them. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick either one of the original problems. You have to choose an original problem, okay? It doesn't matter which one you choose, you will get the same answer either way. In this one, I'm going to choose the top, okay? So I'm going to rewrite the problem. X minus 2y equals negative 19. Now here, we're going to use the substitution. So I found x to be negative 3. I'm going to put it in the place of this x, okay? And then we're going to solve from there. I'm going to move this up. I'm just going to draw an arrow for a reminder. I always put parentheses when I'm substituting, and my answer was negative 3, so I'll put negative 3. And then you're just going to write the rest of the problem out. minus 2y equals negative 19. Okay? From here, we're going to use our steps in solving an equation to find y. First step is, I've got to find my variable, correct? So I'm going to find my variable. Right here's y. Draw my line to help me know where I'm at. And am I going to move the negative 2 or the negative 3 first? Negative 3. And that's because in our process, subtraction comes first. So we're going to move negative 3. What's the inverse of negative 3? Add. Or positive 3. Either way, you can say it either way. So positive 3. And what I do to one side, I do to the other side of the equal sign. Negative 3 plus 3 equals what? 0. And that's what we want. Bring down the negative 2y, because we didn't do anything to it. My equal sign. Negative 19 plus 3, negative 16, right? And here, we're just going to divide, just like we did over here. Negative 2, negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 reduces to a 1, so we can take those out. Y equals, what's a negative divided by a negative? A positive. So make sure you watch your signs. Negative 16 divided by negative 2 is going to be a positive 8. Alright. Now here, we've solved for x and we've solved for y. Your final step is to write your answers as an ordered pair. And by that, I'm going to show right here, you're going to have your ordered pair always in parentheses. X will always come first, followed by a comma, and then a y. Okay? This is an ordered pair. It'll never change. Whenever I say give your answer in an ordered pair, this is what you're going to do. So how will we write this answer right here as an ordered pair? Which one's going to come first, the 8 or the negative 3?
Negative 3.
Negative 3 will come first. Negative 3, comma 8, and that's my final answer. Okay? Yes?
Would you have gotten it if you chose the bottom?
You would have. Yes, either way, you can substitute into either one of the equations. It doesn't matter which one, and you'll still get the same answer. Okay? It doesn't matter which one you choose. You can choose top or the bottom. I just chose the top. Alright, so I've worked this one. I'm going to leave it here. As a group, we're going to work number 2. So what's my first step, Kyle? What's the first step? What's my first step to combining these two equations?
See if they're aligned.
Aligned, that's right. The A stands for aligned. See if they're aligned, that's right. Are they aligned?
Yes.
That means they have to be in a row, right? One are on top. So I'm looking at Y. It is aligned. And yes, X is aligned. So first, we can check that one off. Second thing we have to check is what, Dustin? What's my second thing I have to look for?
See if they got
The common number in front of them, right? So let's look at Y first. It's listed first, so let's look at that one first. What number is in front of the top Y? There's a 1. Understood 1. Good job. How about the second equation, baby? What's this? 2y. Do I have the same coefficient in front of my y's? I don't. So I'm not even going to worry about y. We're going to move on to x. Alright, right here, Kayla. Do I have the same coefficient in front of x? I do. So that's step 2. I can check it off. I've done the alignment. I've done coefficient. I need to check what's the next step, Kayla. Michaela, what's the next step? What's the S? Standing for my signs. Remember, we got to check our signs. They have to have opposite signs, right? Do I have opposite signs in front of my 3's? I do. So, third one checked off. Now I can do what? Excuse me, I can do what? What's my next? What am I going to do?
Add.
I'm going to add it. Add the whole thing. So bring it here. I'm going to add. I'm going to combine these two by eliminating one variable. The first variable I'm going to eliminate is the one with the opposite signs and the same coefficient. So I can go ahead and take this one completely out right now. Okay? Alright, now we're going to add. 1y plus 2y is going to be 3y. This is 0, so I don't do anything with it. I'm going to bring down the equal sign. -2 plus 14. A positive 12. Watch your signs on this, okay? Be careful. Positive 12. Alright, and what I tell you you're always going to do in this step?
Divide.
Divide. You will always divide because we're multiplying. So we're going to multiply. We're multiplying by 3, but we're going to divide now by 3 on both sides. 3 divided by 3 reduces to 1. Bring down our y. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Very good. Alright. Let's see. Jamie, pick which one of these equations you want to substitute into. You want to do the top one or the bottom?
Top.
We'll do the top one. Alright? So when we do that, we're going to rewrite that whole equation, but it has to be one of the originals, okay? It doesn't matter which one. She chose the top, so we're going to rewrite this. Y plus 3x equals -2. What was my answer for y? 4. So that's what I'm going to put right here. Make my parentheses. I'm going to bring the 4 and substitute it in. Plus 3x equals -2. Now I've got everything in my equation. I'm just going to use my steps for solving to finish it out. Well, I have 2 operators in this equation. I have addition and multiplication. That's right. Which one comes first? Addition. Alright, so we're going to move the 4 first. Here's my variable. And how am I going to move that 4?
Subtract.
Minus. Subtract. That's right. Because it's a positive. So -4, both sides. 4 minus 4 is 0. That's right. 4 minus 4 is 0, and that's what we want. Did I do anything to the 3x?
No.
No, so I'm going to bring it down. Alright, watch our signs. -2 minus 4. -6. Very good, very good. Alright, here we're dividing again because we're multiplying. So the inverse is division. Divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 reduces to 1. We bring down the x equals
-2.
-6 divided by 3. Good job, -2. Alright, now I have them. Let's see, I'm going to call on Blake, will you put these in ordered pair for me? And what do I mean when I say ordered pair?
X and Y.
X and Y. That's right. X and Y is my ordered pair. So tell me, how would I write this as an ordered pair?
-2, 4.
Very good. -2, 4. And this is where we stop, okay? Now later on, we're going to get into where, these aren't always going to be opposite signs in front of the coefficient. And we'll learn how to change that and make it where it's opposite signs because we do have to have the 0 to be able to use the elimination method. Okay? But up until this point, that's the only difference. We're combining the 2 equations to get 1, and then we're going to solve the equation just like we've been doing over and over and over. Remember your steps for solving the equations, and you're going to be alright. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? No questions? Think you got it? Alright.